I finished #1 on the Xbox ranked leaderboards, and in this video, I'm gonna explain exactly how I did it. What's going on, boys? First and Law back with another video, and as you can see, we got our RG3 right here. He has so much aura. We finished in the top 100 in the last season, and for last season, we actually finished #1 on Xbox, so I'm super proud of that. And look at this RG3. He has aura. But this video is not about RG3. This video is about how I officially accomplished this and how I could help you guys possibly accomplish the same thing here in the next season. So we're gonna go ahead and get into everything. First, I'm gonna go into my game settings just real quick. The main settings I want to go over are just my switch stick settings and my passing settings. For switch stick delay, you need to make sure you're on switch stick delay set to none. My heat seeker window size is default to 100%. I changed it to 200%. I think it's a little better. I don't notice a big difference, but I definitely think it helps. So I would also do that if you don't have that on. I also have my text quality, arrow feedback, and text feedback both set to visible. And then my last thing I want to share with you guys is my passing settings. I make sure to run placement and accuracy, and I have my pass lead increase set to small with my reticle speed set to 3. This is just in case someone runs cover 0 or man-to-man. I can pass lead to the outside to really pick apart man-to-man. But now I'm going to show you guys exactly what I run on offense. So those are all my settings, but now I want to get into my offense to show you guys exactly what I ran all of ranked season last season. At the very beginning of the season, I honestly passed the ball 100% of the time, but towards the end of the ranked season, I really switched up my scheme to run the ball a lot more. So I'm actually in I form a lot of the times. I know, would you rather have an I form son or thought daughter? Answer the questions down in the comments below. But what I do is actually set my package to gadget at halfback, and then I have Jerry Rice currently in this meta at halfback, and then all I do is sub in Westover here at fullback. I actually like Westover because he's a really good blocker, and sometimes when I need extra protection when I pass, I'll end up blocking a lot with Westover. So in my offense, I'll always come out in this I form as of late, and then I like to audible from here. So whichever side my tight end starts on, this is also important if you're going to do this, he's never going to move. So oftentimes I'll audible down to like gun bunch tight end or bunch X nasty, and I just know my tight end is not going to move. So I need to make sure if I want to run those bunches to the wide side of the field, which is what I do a lot, to make sure that he's going to be starting on the wide side. That's super important. But the main plays I run are that I form stretch play, and then I mainly run just honestly a few plays on offense like this. I run spacing switch with a drag on the tight end, with a crosser on the slot, a backside return on the outside receiver, and then streaking my solo receiver. Another mix-up I like to do is this motion cross post, where I'll literally just do this. This play I use so much. Streak my tight end, slot fade my slot receiver, corner my outside guy, and then return route my solo side receiver. These two combos have been super money for me. I run a few more combos than that, but those are the ones I use the most often. Another one I really use a lot is going to be out of this Y doubles flex off close. And this is going to be my favorite combos in the Jets playbook. I am in Jets on offense and Vikings on defense. But what I like to do out of this is put a wheel on my tight end, crosser my guy next to my tight end, streak my running back, and leave it like this. This play has done wonders for me, and this play has slowly become one of my favorites in the playbook that I use so often because it works so well against man and zone. It's literally a universal beater. And then one of the last things I do a lot is really just keep it safe on offense, and I'll take advantage of this RPO. And I run a lot of stuff out of bunch tight end. So I definitely run this RPO. I also run mesh slot, and what I do is stem down my slot or my corner route, streak my inside guy, slot fade my slot receiver, and put my running back on a Texas. And then I'll oftentimes switch that with this spacing play, where I'll run something like this. So those are all going to be the primary things I run on offense. I really like to keep offense super simple. If I had one tip for you guys to really rank up and do a good job in rank this season, it would be to take care of the ball and to make offense super simple. But that's going to be our offensive scheme. And now let's go ahead and get into what I run on defense. So on defense, we are in the Vikings defensive playbook. I always make sure to set my safety depth to close and pinch. I leave my zone drops on default unless I get to like a 4th down or I'm in the red zone situations, then those will change. I always set my RPO settings up in this way, just conservative, conservative, aggressive, conservative, and then I always make sure my auto flip is set to off. The next thing I do in this particular instance is I actually change my packages to outside linebacker sub. What this is going to do is let Nubin play on the defensive line for us, which is what we want for our particular setup. And then I make my subs in this way. I'll make the subs first and then kind of explain what I'm doing. I do this literally every game, so I've gotten good at it, but it is a lot of subs. But basically we have Charles Woodson up top with deep zone KO. And we don't really care so much about the KOs as much as we care about the improved reaction time from the deep zone KO. He's been doing really good with that ability. I really like that on him. I also have pick artist on him for 1 AP. And then we have Hobbs next to him just because he's fast. And we also have Minka on the outside. I like Minka on the right side of the field because most quarterbacks we play against are right-handed. So oftentimes quarterbacks like to roll out right or go right. I want them to run into one of my best players on defense, and that's going to be Minka. So I like Minka out there. And then we also have Porter here on the outside. He's just tall and decently fast. My main user recently has actually been Taylor Mays, just because I've been running this Raiders theme team. He's been doing good for me. I don't have like the best team right now, but this team definitely gets the job done. And then I put Jesse Bates right here. The main play I call him on defense is going to be this cover 3 sky. And I have a bunch of shells that I like to run against certain offenses, but just know mainly what I'm coming out in is this cover 3 sky. Now I definitely don't run this stock like the way it shows you. So in this particular instance, if I saw Bunch X Nasty, oh, let me show you one more thing I forgot to show you. Before calling cover 3 sky, some people like to run this on no package shell, but what I like to do is run it on a cover 2 shell. That's personally what I've been doing. And again, I'm just in this cover 3 sky. And also, before I get any further into this defense, I want to let you guys know that this isn't the defense that I came up with or that I personally made. I definitely took this from Young Hexseed. So if you want to check out Young Hexseed and his YouTube, he makes a lot of good stuff. And I was checking him out. I saw him running this defense and I was like, wow, I want to try it. It's been working out for me, so I really like it. But basically all I do on defense every time is I'll hit right on my D-pad and then show blitz with my linebackers just to get them to creep up to the line like that. I end up sending Jesse Bates on the blitz almost all the time, and then you could change the shell. So for this particular instance against Bunch X Nasty, a lot of times what I would run is something like this, just like a cover 3 shell. The last thing I do is I put Nubin here. That's why we have to change that outside linebacker package so we could have Nubin in this position. And then he ends up being in a zone for me. And then the last thing I'll do is actually just hover here and maybe re-hook this guy to the right side. So this is gonna be my basic shell for most offenses. It does change a little bit against like trips and stuff like that, but this is what this primary shell I ran literally all of ranked season like this. And what we're focused on is just having good switch sticks, not getting bombed over top if we can avoid it, and then just playing really good fundamental defense and making our opponents work. So that's kind of our philosophy on defense. And that's what I run mainly on defense, boys. I'm not really hiding anything. Like, this is literally what I do every rank season. And this is what got me to the #1 spot. But that's what I run on offense and defense. So we're actually going to go hop into some games and also kind of explain our thought process and little nuances that we do that could possibly help you guys rank up in this next season. Before we hop into any games, something I also want to point out and something I do every rank game is if you could look all the way at the bottom left corner of my screen, I don't know why I tried to point at it there, but you can see that little icon that shows that I'm streaming from my console. So I actually stream every game from my Xbox. If I'm not streaming on Twitch, like on my regular streams, by the way, if you want to check those out, I stream every night, First in Law, shameless plug on Twitch. But if I'm not streaming on Twitch, I just stream directly from my Xbox to Twitch. What this allows you to do is just have instant replay of every play in ranked. Ranked doesn't have the previous play setting turned on. So if you rely on that a lot and you don't have that in ranked, the way I like to make sure I know kind of what my opponent's running after every play is just make sure to stream the game from your console and then have it pulled up on a second monitor to the side, and that's going to give you instant replay for every play. So just wanted to point that out because I do that a lot, and it's honestly super helpful. And if you guys don't do that, make sure to do that for your streams and for your games. The next thing I do in these ranked game boys is I actually set my coach adjustments on the kickoff every time. You could set some coach adjustments here, and then I also kick off left every time. I try to make sure my kickoff team is good on the left side, but the main reason I do this is because most quarterbacks are right-handed, so you just want to pin quarterbacks to the short side of the field. In case they have to roll out, you want to make sure they roll out to the short side of the field. So he actually ended up on the left side, which is fine, but that's something I wanted to point out that I do every game. So let me go ahead and set these subs up, and then we'll get into some gameplay here. Okay, so we always look at what our opponent's running. He's going to come out and bunch X nasty here. So we're going to set up one of our shells we like to run against bunch X nasty. It's going to look something like this. And then we're just going to make sure to man that guy up there. And that's one of the main shells I really like to run against bunch X nasty. I always like having a hard flat on running back side, just in case he runs spacing switch. It doesn't look like he's actually going to end up running spacing switch on this play. So we're just sending a lot of pressure out of this 3-3 odd, trying to get him to make a decision, trying to get him to make a bad read possibly, and just playing good fundamental defense. My first drives on defense, I always try to fill out how my opponent's playing, and I always try to do a decent job of not getting bombed right away and just making my opponents work, just kind of see their money plays. He's going to transition to Y off trio close here. So you always want to look at the formation your opponent's coming out in and kind of have a game plan ready to go there. And we're going to run something like this. I'm not sure what he's running here. This could be a lot of nonsense. It was kind of a lot of just misdirection there, so good play there by him. Wasn't really ready for that, but like I said, this first drive, you're really just trying to fill out your opponent, and that's what I do every first drive. I don't take it too serious. I do at the same time, obviously, I'm trying to create turnovers and fly around on defense, but at the same time, I'm mainly just trying not to get bombed and trying to see my opponent's money plays. So he's going to switch to doubles, Y off nasty here. Not sure what he's going to run, but we're just going to try to set up a good basic shell and play good defense here. We'll see what he runs. Again, just getting really good pressure out of this 3-3 odd. I really like this overload blitz just because you get tons of pressure out of it. He had his short route open there, so we might switch up something here on this play. We're going to try to mix in a little bit of man. That is something I've been working on doing a lot more, is just mixing in a lot more man and trying to make the look the same as if it was zone. So good knockout there by us. Really just mixing up our defense, trying to keep him on his toes, trying to make our opponent uncomfortable, but at the same time making him work and not give up anything deep or anything too crazy. So that's what we're focused on. We're trying to learn his money plays, and we're also trying to play good solid defense. So gonna try to switch stick around. I saw last time he possibly looked at his tight end corner route. It looked like he possibly could have been looking at his tight end corner out there again. He's getting blitzed, and he's not doing a good job picking up this blitz. On fourth downs, I really like to set my zone drops to where the first down marker is. So I'm actually going to set my hooks to 10. Sometimes I would set my flats to like 10 or 15 here. In this instance, we could probably do that. I don't mind that. Like, I don't really know exactly what he's going to call here. So I just want to play good fundamental defense here if we can. I'm going to pass commit just because obviously this is a passing situation. And there, we're just playing good fundamental defense, boys. There's literally nothing to it. And like I said, at the beginning of this last ranked season, I would pass the ball almost 100% of the time. But towards the end of the ranked season, I definitely got away from that, and I feel like it's paid off for me. I feel like running the ball has been doing a lot better for me, just because I would lose most of my games only if I turned the ball over. But typically what I do actually is when somebody I think is going to overplay the run on my first play, just because when you see I form, you oftentimes just overplay it, I'll end up calling something else just to kind of keep them on their toes and keep them honest. So he actually just ends up overplaying that there. He might have just been in an all-out blitz to stop the I form. So oftentimes I really like to audible into something else and catch my opponents off guard. And like I said, we're just keeping it simple on offense, not trying to make the most impossible, complicated reads on ourselves. We're definitely not trying to put that pressure on ourselves. We're just trying to make it really simple, really easy, and then force our opponent to make mistakes and fly around on defense. So now that we already got a stop, we're feeling pretty good about this game. We just want to get one more stop to try to really force our opponent into a bad situation here. Again, we always kick it off to this side because his quarterback's right-handed. We want to try to make sure that we keep him on that side of the field. Didn't do a good job there, but that's fine. And again, we're just going to be in this 3-3 odd. Always check your zone drops at the beginning of every play. That's something I just naturally do. Just because like we set our zone drops to certain depths on that 4th down play from last drive. So you always want to make sure they're set to the correct things from when you previously set the play. So we're just going to set up our defense here the way we normally run it. He's going to try running the ball here. He's going to get to the outside. Good job by him. He might try to test us with the run a little bit more this drive, but we kind of have a good feeling for what he's trying to do here on offense. So we're just going to try to fly around on defense and do a decent job. So literally nothing to it, boys. Just trying to play really good fundamental defense. Pretty much just kind of guessing what he's running and stuff. It looks like he's just going to run the ball a lot more than what he's been, which is fine with us. We just got to play for that now and do a better job for it. Wasn't really playing the run the first drive, but we definitely will this drive now. But I'm always asking myself, okay, he's going to come out and bunch X nasty. Based on the way he's been playing, what kind of are we worried about? What are we not worried about? Last time he ran bunch X nasty, he sent that motion cross post on a motion route. It doesn't look like he's going to be running it here. So it could be something different. We're going to have a hard flat out there, but we're going to be ready to switch stick to the right in case we see a corner route as well. So we're kind of just looking at that. This could be halfback choice, and I think it was halfback choice. I don't know why he sent that tight end on a motion. Normally you're not supposed to do that, but I feel like he probably is just going to call the same thing here. And because we know that, we're going to actually put a little bit of different defense here. I'm going to go ahead and touch this guy just so he doesn't move with the motion guy. And this should be pretty decent defense here. If he sends his running back on a streak, I'm going to try to man him up here, just because that's what a lot of people do in halfback choice. And he ends up just blocking his running back. And there I held left trigger, and what I've been doing on those recently is holding left trigger just to kind of turn my defensive back around to get his body towards the ball to give him a better position to get an interception. So that's a little nuanced tip I've been doing lately as well, is I definitely hold left trigger a lot more to get interceptions. And now we're just going to try to play good offense here, safe offense, try to run the ball, see a gap, and just try to always stay positive on offense as far as gaining positive yards. So last possession, he really didn't make us work. We got a one-play touchdown, and we notice he's here in this double mug. We're going to try to see if he's in man or zone right now. It looks like he's in man. I might possibly try to small pass lead Jerry Rice to the outside here. That's why we had our pass lead on small. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to get the leverage we want, and we're actually going to be able to break a tackle here. I tried to speed boost there, wasn't able to get it off, but good job there by us by getting out of there. And another almost like philosophy I've changed, or something I've really have been trying to work on, is not trying to bomb somebody every single play. Oftentimes when I try to bomb somebody or pass lead them small outside, what happens a lot of times is I just get bad turnovers and just get bad reads, and then it just makes offense super hard and complicated on ourselves. So lately what I've been doing is simplifying offense, like I said, really trying to take care of the ball, because my personal issue was with every ranked loss, it would only be because I turned the ball over. So in order to mitigate that, like I said, we're running the ball a lot more, we're simplifying offense, we're using RPOs, we're using this I form, we're taking our early checkdowns, we're not trying to force the ball down the field, and then we're just playing really good like fundamental defense, having a plan for every offensive formation we ran into. So we have a plan for bunch X nasty, we have a plan for trips, we have a plan for random offenses, we have plans for everything. And then it's really just about going out there and executing, switch sticking, and then doing a good job from there. So in this instance, we feel like he's probably going to overplay the run. We just ran that RPO last time, so what I'm thinking here is he's probably going to overplay it with his user. So what I'm hoping is he uses that top safety or that defensive end on the left, and he's going to overplay it. So we're just going to run the ball and try to get an easy touchdown there with Westover. Not able to punch it in, but we are in the 3-yard line now. Again, I really think he's going to overplay the run here. So we're just going to try to hit the outside, try to read a gap, and he's going to get a stop there. So not sure what I want to do here. I could sneak in a pass here. I would rarely do this, but I could try to sneak in a little spacing switch pass here. And we end up dropping it. So good defense there by him. Another thing I've done in ranked, boys, and this is something you all have to do if you really want to win, is I joked about it on stream the other day, but I recently had an ego death in Madden. And what I mean by that is I used to have like a pretty decently sized ego. I used to think I was way better than what I was. So in certain situations, it would make me do things that probably weren't smart to win games. So in that situation there, my ego would have told me to go for it, that I could get this. I just got unlucky last play, whatever. But if you listen to your ego in that situation and you don't get it, it ends up making the game way harder to win. What we care about more is just being up possessions rather than points. And right now we're up 2 possessions and we get ball at half. So we're sitting in a really good spot to really make our opponent work. And hopefully he tries to force something down the field. So we're always thinking about like not trying to have an ego, not trying to make bad mistakes, and just trying to play good fundamental ball, honestly. So he's going to come out in this I form set. We're just going to move some guys outside. We really just want to contain his offense here. Don't want to give up anything huge, and we just want to make him work. He might be trying to milk the clock, which is probably what he should be doing. We also have all 3 timeouts, so we're going to try to make that hard on him as well. You're always thinking about time and score. You're thinking about what your opponent could be thinking or what he could be running in certain situations. Here it looks like motion cross post, so we're going to be set up for that. And we're good with this, just trying to make a tackle with Taylor Mays and literally just trying to play good solid defense, trying to keep him in front, trying to make him take his checkdowns in these situations here. And it looks like he ends up audibling. The way you could tell too is the way his outside guys lined up there. Because his outside guy was not far up on the line of scrimmage, I could tell he audibled there. So he's back into motion cross post. Now he's in something different. And he's just trying to bomb here. We're definitely not going to go for the pick here. We're just going to go for the swap because it was 4th down. And we're just playing good fundamental offense, making it super hard on him. Really just trying to force him into mistakes, trying to force him to be antsy like he was, and just not doing anything too crazy on offense now. So we're going to come out in this I form again. He's showing 6-1. I'm actually going to audible into something, a passing play, which I haven't done yet on my first play, just to try to keep him on his toes. We're kind of expecting cover 4, maybe hard flats here. It actually wasn't hard flats, so we're just able to take our first read, and we're keeping it really, really easy and simple on offense. By the way, boys, I do have a full ebook out on this offense, this jet scheme. The I form stuff isn't in there right now, but you could definitely add it just based on this video. But if you want my full ebook, go to victoryformation.gg, and when you check out, just make sure to use my code LAW for 20% off. It ends up only being like $11 and some change, but literally every single play on offense I run is on there with the full breakdowns and how I make read progressions, and it just makes offense super simple, easy, and effective to run. So here we're just trying to run this I-form stuff. Sometimes we wouldn't score there depending on time and score, but since we're going to go up 3 possessions now, we're definitely going to go ahead and take that touchdown. And like I said, we're just keeping offense super simple, super easy, not taking a lot of risk, and now all of a sudden we're up 17-0. So now we're just kind of thinking about his mind frame on offense. He might be a little upset, he might be a little antsy trying to bomb us over top. We're thinking about kind of what we want to plan for. We definitely want to make sure we keep him in front and just don't let anything get over top of us if we can, and then kind of go from there. So you always want to be thinking about time and score and your position in the game, as well as your opponent's like mental frame is what I think about more than I think what other players think about. I always want to think, is he upset? Is he playing like emotional? Is he not? Or is he doing certain situations like not correctly? Is he running things badly? I'm always asking myself questions like that just to be ready for stuff that he might be doing. So we're just going to be in this cover 4. Anytime I'm trying to prevent someone from bombing me over top, like he's going for this halfback choice play, I always like to put a deep half on the bunch side and then a middle third from the opposite side, just in this situation specifically. We think he's going to block his running back here. If you think someone's going to block the running back, what I like to do is not send too much pressure, just because it's probably going to get picked up anyway. And he actually sends his running back out on the route there. So good play there by him. But again, we're sticking true to what we're trying to do on offense, or I mean defense. We're just trying to keep him in front, trying to force him to take his underneath stuff, not going to give up anything deep over top if we can help it, and then just do a decent job doing that. So he's been going to that halfback choice play a lot. You see his outside bunch guy is like super lined up weird. It's because he's in this motion cross post play. When you see that, that's a huge tell that they're in this motion cross post play, or they're in the there's also an RPO you can run out of that specific setup as well. But because I see his guy is lined up like that, I know he's going to be in the same play. So I know it's not going to be spacing switch, but it could be. So I'm not sure what he ran there. He just put his guys on different routes, so good job there by him. But again, because it's an end of half situation, we're always trying to end these games too if we can. We're always trying to end every half with a ball and score, and the game with the ball and score. So I know this is a lot of information to kind of throw out somebody, but this is something I'm always thinking about during every one of these ranked games, and this is how you can, you know, do a good job in your games as well. So again, just trying to make him work. He's burned a lot of time on himself. If we could force him to 3 here, that would be great. If not, it's not the biggest deal. I could go ahead and play aggressive here too. There's a couple of ways we can do this. If we play super aggressive, we could force him to either take a touchdown or get a stop. So that's something we're also thinking about. But I think he might run the spacing switch play here on this play. So we're thinking about that as well. And he just ran like a halfback streak or wheel there. So he's not doing anything too crazy. He's not trying to take anything over top. He's probably trying to make this the last possession of the half, which he should be. And we're just trying to make him work for it. If we could hold him to 3 here again, that'd be great. But either way, he's going to be down 3 possessions. So, again, a few ways we could play this. I'm just choosing it to play it a little more safe probably than usual. But I could see someone playing aggressive here. And he ends up running a corner route there. So he's going to go ahead and score. We do have all 3 timeouts though, and there's only 13 seconds left in the half. What I'm thinking now is, can we possibly get into field goal range, which is only the freaking 50-yard line now because these kickers can kick so far in Ultimate Team. I'm thinking, how are we going to do that? How many plays are we going to have to accomplish that goal as well? With 13 seconds left, you might have 3 plays max. So we're thinking, okay, we're not going to go for anything too crazy on the first play. We're just going to take what he gives us or what we think he's going to give us. Another thing you want to do in this situation is never return the ball here unless they kick it super far up. But you always want to make sure to never return it because these seconds are more important than those yards. Where he messed up there is he should have kicked it inside the green because he just gave me a free 15 yards without having to work for it. So that was not good by him. But we're trying to see what he's in. It looks like a prevent man-to-man situation here. So we're going to go to one of our man beaters. I accidentally switched to this trips. No problem. We're just going to switch out of it. Again, our goal is not to score here. A touchdown, not necessarily. We're just trying to get into field goal range and trying to score 3 if we can. I just pressed the wrong button. That was really, really, really bad. I tried to hit RB, but I accidentally fat fingered X. That was bad on me. We might still be able to get to half here. I actually think we could still in this situation. Just got to do something way better than that. I think I'm just going to run the same play. Again, we're just trying to get to the 50-yard line and get out of bounds if we can. We get pretty close. I'm not sure if Brandon Aubrey can make this, but we're going to give him a shot. It is a 69-yard field goal. Depending on the wind, maybe. And we have wind pointed against us. So I'm not sure if we're going to be able to make this. We're just going to have to try to kick this perfectly, though. I mean, we gave ourselves the best chance to make it there. Didn't end up going through, so that's okay. We're still going to be up 2 possessions, but as you can see, me fat fingering there was a kind of a huge mistake because we would have been able to get up at least 20-7 with the field goal. But it's not the biggest deal because we do get ball at half. We just got to play good fundamental offense like we have been all game and just not force anything and just play smart ball here. We're actually going to return this because it was inside the green. Again, another thing I do that not a lot of people talk about is try to avoid RNG. So I try to avoid like hit sticks in this situation. I try to avoid no huddling just to try to not put your players in positions to fumble and stuff like that. We're going to go to this RPO play, one of the safe plays I run in this offense. And we're just going to try to sneak something here to the flat. Make your guy miss. Again, super simple. We always make sure, something I didn't know at the beginning of this video, that we're on conservative for ball carrier and our auto pass protection is set to base. Again, we keep offense super simple on us. We think he possibly could overplay that RPO now in this situation. That's kind of what we're thinking about. If he's going to overplay it, we're going to be ready to hit something else. We hit this little drag over across the middle. Again, avoid the RNG. Don't need to take any unnecessary hit sticks if you don't have to. That's why I'm just running out of bounds here. I could even chew clock here just to kind of make it really hard on him time-wise and then try to do something here. What I like to do against double mug when I'm running against it is typically I'll unidentify his user. It didn't let me there, but that's something I like to do in that situation. We are up 14 points. Or I'm sorry, we're up 10. So that's something you always got to think about too, is time and score. Because we're up 10, the field goal is not going to do us any good in this situation because it's only going to put us up 2 possessions. So we really are looking for a touchdown in this situation here. We're going to audible down to this bunch X nasty. Again, keeping it super simple. The spacing switch play I really love. He's not ready for it. He's just going all man-to-man, and Westover just doesn't catch the ball. So again, weird RNG stuff you sometimes have to deal with. We're noticing he's going all out man-to-man almost every play. So we're just going to be ready for that in this play here. And this is why we're going to have our pass lead set to small. We're going to try to pass lead to the outside here with Jerry Rice. If it's there, if not, we're just going to look underneath. So it looks like it's going to be there. We're going to try to pass lead it small. And again, that's why we have our pass lead set to small and our reticle speed and all that stuff, because of those certain situations there. It makes it really hard for someone to play cover 0 against you unless they know how to switch stick out to it. And that's only for like demons who know how to do that. So if you're playing a demon, then it's a little different. But because I knew he's just blitzing everyone and trying to play all out man, I'm taking advantage of that small pass lead thing. So again, I have a reason for all of my settings and all of my stuff like that. And this has actually been a really good game just to showcase pretty much everything I run and the reasons for it as well. So we're up, I mean, a substantial amount. We're just going to make him work. We're going to try to make him drain his own clock. Literally, the only goal here in this situation is just to not give up anything deep. So we're just going to deep half his bunch side. And we're going to shade down and shade up. If you do that in cover 4, it turns off the match. We definitely don't want to be matching in this situation. And we're just trying to look deep. So he takes his drag underneath route, which is fine by us. Again, trying to keep everything in front. He's going to have to no huddle and make something happen here. But if you shade down and shade up in cover 4, it's supposed to turn off the match. Sometimes your players can still match a little bit in situations. So that's something you just have to be aware of. Again, just trying to keep him in front. Nothing too crazy. I think he knows that. And he's just going to start taking his underneath stuff. So here, since it's in the 15-yard line, we can already get a little aggressive. So here I'm just kind of trying to think, what could he possibly throw? What are we worried about? We're setting up for that seam route on the right. And that's why I sent a little more pressure than I have been the rest of the time, just to try to keep him on his toes. I definitely don't want him getting comfortable here. And we're going to throw this look at him. Haven't thrown this look at him all game, I don't think. I'm going to pass commit because I rarely think he's going to run in this situation. And we're actually going to shade outside as well. And what we're going to do with our user is just be ready to user anyone on the inside. And we're also obviously in charge of taking care of the tight end as well. So I accidentally switch sticked my guy out of position there. So good job by him by seeing that. He definitely had that dude wide open, but he just got unfortunately cheated. Not unfortunate for us though. So again, boys, just playing really safe. I mean, just trying to keep everything in front in this situation. We're going to go ahead and man up a running back in case he tries to possibly do like a running back streak here. We see the tight end corner. I didn't think he was going to actually throw it. That's my bad on me. I had the switch stick, obviously, and he just threw it right at my switch. But bad switch stick there by me, but we saw the corner. I just didn't think he was going to actually throw it right at me. So he's kind of in a bad situation, though, so he has to take what is given to him. And so he kind of just had to take that in that situation. There, he just goes stock spacing switch. He's still going to be down 2 scores. He might have to onside here. Doesn't look like he's going to. So now we're just thinking, we just got to keep playing the offense the way we have been. Keeping it super simple, super safe. Trying to move the ball pretty safely and easily. And then going from there. In this situation, you really don't want to take a hit stick if you can. Avoid the RNG. And just try to get to a winning position in the game. So again, I really like to come out in I form. This is something I've changed as of late. He could be overplaying the run here is what I'm thinking. He also could be super aggressive here. So I want to take advantage of that and actually try to hit him over top with something if I can. But at the same time, I'm not going to force anything if I don't have to. So it looked like he shaded maybe possibly inside there. So I'm always trying to keep my opponent guessing. I don't want him to have an easy run commit play. Just because I'm coming out in I form and just because I'm up 2 scores, I still want to keep him guessing and I still want to make defense really, really hard for him. The last thing you want to do on offense is become one-dimensional. You just want to play super solid and just keep your opponent guessing and really just think, if you were on defense in this situation, what would you be covering? What would you be doing? And then kind of play based off that. That's the way I think about it. It's worked out for me, but maybe something you guys can implement in your games as well. Another thing that's good about coming out in this I form set is you don't necessarily know what formation I'm going to audible down to. If I come out in bunch X nasty, you know you have to be prepared obviously for bunch X nasty. But in this case, I can audible literally to anything because I have 3 receivers and 1 running back on the field. So it's super, super nice to have this, and I really like that because of this. And now I'm playing this. What I'm thinking here is he's going to overplay the RPO. I'm hoping he goes and uses it. He doesn't. But I was hoping he was going to overplay that. Doesn't look like he's going to. In this situation, I don't want to have chew clock on just because I want to be able to audible to something with enough time. So I'm kind of just thinking about that. I'm also thinking about something we haven't ran all game. Trying to make offense easy on us. We could go ahead and try to run this spacing or this halfback choice play. It looks like he's going to be in man though, so this might be a little hard. We'll see. We're actually going to get a free play, so we're just going to chuck it up to West over there. He actually got a pass interference call. I saw that right away, and as soon as I see that, I always make sure just to chuck it up to a streak because you never know. Madden's super fluky, and you definitely want to take advantage of that if you can. So he's going to be overplaying the run here just because he kind of has to. So again, we just want to take advantage of that. We're going to look to pass here in this situation. We're going to try to make the easy pass. He leaves us our tight end wheel. That is something we went over in practice mode. We're trying to stay in bounds to keep the clock moving, and we're also avoiding hit sticks. So all of this stuff I'm thinking about, and now we get to turn on chew clock. Here's where I like to unidentify his user. I think it just makes the run a little better as far as blocking goes. We'll see. And we're just trying to hit the outside. Trying to stay in bounds. He should burn one of his timeouts here. It looks like he's going to save him, which is fine by us. We could theoretically just run the ball out and take all of his timeouts. I don't really see the reason for passing here just because there's so little time. We really are concerned about just taking his timeouts here. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We feel like we've been playing pretty solid defense. We get to a 3rd and 17 situation just because I tried to hit the outside on that one play. I could be concerned with trying to get the first down here, but like I said, we're going to just commit to taking his timeouts. So let's just continue to do that and just continue to run the ball here. He could give up something like that. That would have been nice had we gotten the first down from that. But he's going to let this time drain out, it looks like. So I'm not sure why he would save 2 timeouts in this situation. What we're actually going to do is just let the clock roll all the way down, because we're concerned about just trying to give him as little time as possible to catch up in this game. So we're going to let this go all the way down, and then we're going to burn one of our timeouts. We don't really need our timeouts in this situation. Then we're going to go ahead and score this field goal and play good defense. So that's what we're thinking about, and that's how we're going to end up playing this. So not sure why he's saving 2 timeouts. I could see if he had 3 timeouts, possibly saving it then. But I honestly don't agree with his game management style here by saving only 2 timeouts. I just don't think it's a good bang for your buck. Here we're just going to take our points. I know we're already up 2 possessions, but this is just going to make sure that, I don't know, we just get points in this situation. Wasn't really going to go for it there because we lost a lot of yards on that second down play. So we already knew that. We're just playing good, safe offense. And because we're already up, we don't have to force anything. And in this situation, you really don't want to give up a kickoff. So I always just try to use the outside. And now we're really focused on just tackling him in bounds and keeping this clock moving, while at the same time not giving up anything deep. So that's what we're thinking about here in this situation. We're going to go ahead and man up his running back. We're going to put this guy in a deep half just so we have a lot of deep zones here. And we're going to pass commit as well. When you pass commit, your pass rush is supposed to be a little better. And here he's just trying to force something up. And it looks like he actually gets it. I tried to click on and actually go get that ourselves, but not able to. So that was kind of crazy. But as you see, guys, I don't freak out. I don't really try to play this game emotionally. As soon as you play emotionally or start to like feel yourself doing that, you just play a lot worse, in my opinion. So I just know it's Madden at the end of the day. And we just got to be ready for that. So here, that last play, he obviously got a lucky reception. But on the very next play, he ends up throwing an interception and quitting. So you just got to know it's Madden, and you just got to stick around in these games and know you're going to do a good job. Or trust your defense to come through when it matters. But that's going to be it, boys. I mean, I really just abide by those principles every single game. I try to play smart, solid offense. I try to take care of the ball, and then I try to play good, solid defense, bend but don't break, and then switch stick after I learn my opponent. Those are all the offensive plays I run. That's the defense I run. I mean, I'm really not hiding anything. If you want really the full breakdowns of the offense though, make sure to check out victoryformation.gg. The link will be in the description, and you just got to use my code LAW, LAW, when you check out for 20% off your purchase. It ends up only being $11 and some change. So if you already spend money on Ultimate Team and want to make your investment worth it, I would definitely suggest getting the ebook. It's going to help you guys out a ton. But this is how I do it, boys. Literally not hiding anything. I hope it helps. If you're wanting to climb up in rank this season and do a good job, I would suggest following a lot of these tips. If you want to watch me play these games live, I go live on Twitch every single night. First and Law on Twitch, same name as the YouTube. I appreciate you guys so much for checking this out, man. Until the next one, peace.